one of my former co-hosts recently, who's going through a little bit of mental instability, he asked if he could have the library of our conspiracy podcast just so he could post. And I was like, well, no, I took it off the internet for like this exact reason, so nobody had access to it. Yeah. And he's like, no, because there's a couple stories I want like out there. And I was like, I don't think you do, dude.
Right.
I was like, I think these.
Is this the one that we talked about a while ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I think under the current guise of the, or like in context of reality, this doesn't look good.
That's something I don't think anybody talks about. I've had like 2 or 3 friends go crazy, like bipolar shit, and nobody ever talks about it. But like, it's like part of growing up is that 1 or 2 of your friends is going to lose their fucking mind.
Yeah, that's why Judd Apatow needs to redo This Is 40. He has to have one friend going completely manic.
I have a friend that calls me like once every 3 months, and it's like, Andy, if you are able to get James Baker's granddaughter pregnant, then you can get me a meeting with Callista Flockhart. It's like the weirdest. He always wants me to like, and it's just, you don't have this. You don't have a friend that went nuts.
I have crazy people, but not that crazy, I don't think.
Yeah, he's like homeless.
Oh yeah, no, I don't have that.
He's gonna listen to this and also leave a voicemail about that as well.
So is this it? Is this the show?
Yeah,
I thought we were still shitting on people.
Oh, okay. That's kind of also the show.
Oh god,
that's kind of the show. I'm not gonna shit on people though this time.
Oh okay, great.
I'm gonna try not to, because there's literally every episode we record, I have to go back and be like, hey, I probably shouldn't have said that thing about that person.
Yeah, that's podcasts in general. Sometimes I do that for somebody else.
Do you know?
Like, I think that you shouldn't have said that. Yeah.
You know, it's funny.
Like, I don't think it's gonna be a big deal, and I'm like, I think it might be.
I'll talk shit about him right now. Salacuse will often, he hasn't done it for a while, but he'll text me and he'll be like, today on We Might Be Drunk, they brought up this bad thing about you. And I'm like, oh, thanks, Sal.
Yeah. Sometimes people just throw things out.
I love Salacuse, but he needs to stick with a facial hair. I never recognize him in the first 2 seconds of seeing him.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a recalibration of his face.
You got to respect we call him Salad Goose. That's Matt Wayne's nickname for him. And you got to respect him because he's got no self-conscious about his looks.
Yeah.
Like every day I spend a half hour looking at my teeth, my hair. I want to kill myself. And Salacuse just shows up. You know, overweight, underheight, fucking bald, like Hulk Hogan bald with a mustache.
He's like if Danny DeVito's DNA got spliced with Walter Goggins.
and just sprinkle a little Ron Jeremy across the top.
Yeah.
Just a little
big Ron Jeremy
he's got a little
for
RJ.
sure.
No, Salacuse is, I mean, I could talk about Salacuse all day if we're just shitting on people, because he's called me 3 times the last 4 days to pitch my own idea to me. He's like, remember that idea you had? I figured out how to do it. We got to talk. And I was like, well, it's Easter Sunday. I'm at the Red Sox game. And he's like, dude, yesterday I was walking to Ari's TV taping. And I'm like, I'm on my way to a taping. I swear I'm not avoiding you. And I even stopped. I was like, but just to be clear, this is my idea. You're going to pitch to me? And he's like, with a twist. And I was like, okay. So I'm just dying to hear my idea.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Created by Joe List, developed by Salacuse.
Right.
I love it.
But it's a clever way to do things, because then he's a producer. Like his name is on the thing.
Yeah, he's gonna get story by. You're gonna get created.
Even though he doesn't. It's mine.
Did he help you shoot the doc on Tom?
He did, yes. So Salacuse flew down. So we shot this documentary. I'd love to plug it. I don't know when this comes out. When does this come out?
2 weeks.
I think next week.
All right. Well, it's possibly still in theaters. Might be dead forever, but coming to a theater near you. But yeah, we shot this documentary about Tom Dustin. You saw it.
It's fantastic. Like I wanted to give you a chance to just go and let it rip, but it's unbelievable. I love Tom, first of all.
Yeah.
He's also one of, I think we're running out of these people of like true characters and like also well-meaning characters, like not insidious devil-like people. He is like a true, actual good guy.
Yes.
Like he's real.
I've never met him, but I want to see the doc. I'm really excited about it.
Well,
hey, everybody. We should take a second to acknowledge that this is the beginning of another episode of Beautiful Boys.
We should say that.
And
Our
today
guest is Joe
we're
List.
joined by Joe List. We never do this. We never start the show like this, but I thought we should start doing it.
Are we cutting everything we already had?
No, not at all.
Some good stuff.
No, yeah.
My dear friend.
We're just letting everybody know. We haven't introduced you.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that me calling my good friend ugly and overweight makes the cut.
Yeah, yeah.
And
that'll get in there.
Underheight might be my
Yeah,
favorite.
Underheight is a really specific.
But anyways, yeah, he shot it. Syracuse came down, and he was awesome. And he didn't charge me. I don't know how this man, he like lives in like a high rise in the Upper West Side.
Yeah.
And he comes down and shoots the thing for 4 days. He's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
well,
okay.
apparently he's been like shooting the double XL rookie cipher for like the last 48 years because
Yeah.
he has so much backlog of like unbelievable concert footage that he's shot.
Yeah, and he's big in the rap. Somehow that guy ended up being like the rapper.
Well, there's
photographer.
Isn't Homeless Pimp also does a lot of like
Yeah.
rap stuff?
Well,
What?
white guys that look like that are like so white that you almost can't believe it. Like Syracuse literally looks like just the white guy on a sitcom who just lost his kids in a custody battle.
Yeah.
And he's now the mascot at the hip hop show.
That's
and they're
funny
like,
'cause
there's
that's-
my mascot photographer.
That's the joke that I made the very first time I met Syracuse.
Really?
We were at Norman's wedding, like eating lunch, and I said, "You look like you're about to go lose your kids in court."
He's he's a character. I mean, he really is Kramer. I mean, then Mark started saying he was like our Kramer, and he's so Kramer, it's insane.
Yeah. I'm surprised he doesn't have like papers flying out of a briefcase everywhere he's going.
I'm sure he does at some point. I mean, did you see the video of the homeless guy that attacked him, and then he's like he fucking maced him?
No.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
see
and he
that.
like went back.
I heard
like,
about it.
No shit.
He double tapped him.
Oh, I love that.
And then he got in like a police car and went looking for the guy. The cops were like, "We got to tell you, like, if we find the guy, you might go to jail." And Sally was like, "What? He attacked me." And they're like, "Well, you have you're like a weapon. You're
not
an
allowed to-
unregistered weapon on
Mace
you."
is a weapon?
I believe so. I think you need a permit for it.
Oh shit. What about a
Taser?
Taser, yeah.
Definitely a weapon.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that was a weapon, but is that something that you actually need? Because I know those like extendo things, like you've heard that since you were a kid, where if you get caught with that, you're like spending 6 years in jail. Those
Oh,
like
gee,
The
yeah,
telescoping
extend-
clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you could really get those are hardcore weapons, but I thought mace was like purely self-defense.
I think you can go and get a permit, but I think men might have a harder time. Being
Yeah.
like, I need some mace. I'm a
Like,
pussy.
just use your fist, pussy.
Yeah, you-
I don't think Syracuse would.
Bleep that. Make note of that. Sorry. Forgot which show it was.
No, that's fine.
All right.
Look at Andy's shorts. You could say
Yeah.
that
Yeah, good
word all
point.
day.
We have to white balance this.
Dude, it is crazy how close the complexion from your inner thigh to your long
T-shirt.
sleeve is.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And your shorts look like the tip of my dick
I know.
right before it comes.
Really?
Regularly, it's
Purple-headed
more like
yogurt
kinda
slinger.
pink. Sorry, Nicole. I apologize.
It's purple like that?
Yeah, as it's when it's really
When it's okay.
yeah,
Like a
cool.
throbber.
You bet.
I hear
Yeah,
you.
Of course.
Yeah. So Syracuse.
So Syracuse came down to Key West. He shot him and Patrick Holbert. You guys know Patrick Holbert.
I don't know if I do.
I know Patrick.
He's a great guy, great comic. He just released a special himself that people should check out. But he's like a video whiz. He's one of these guys that's a comedian, but he's so good video and editing. You
Yeah.
feel bad because you're like, could you edit things for me?
Yeah.
But he's highly skilled at both, obviously. But he is just amazing and did all this incredible work on the movie, and he cut it all together. And it's funny because I kept being like, well, he made the movie, really. I just told him what to do, and then he
Right.
did it. And people were like, well, that's what a director does. They
Can
don't
I ask
actually
a
do
super
anything.
stupid question about a documentary? Because so I always wondered this, like, there's so much fucking footage.
Yeah.
You're filming constantly throughout a weekend or a week. Or
Yeah, we
what?
only shot over 3 or 4 days, 3.5 days.
But even that, like you're constantly going. So there's hours and hours of footage. Are you sitting in the room with them to try to shape this? Are they like kind of beating out a storyline before they start editing, or like how does that even work?
Well, Patrick, like I said, Patrick was like a savant with this stuff. But like, so we shot, and then we only did 3 days, so you kind of remember a lot of it. Like, and Tom would be like, start crying and saying like the most beautiful thing. I'm like, well, obviously this.
yeah.
It was tough because a lot of comedy got cut and some great stories got cut, but I knew I wanted like a bunch of stand up. There was certain things where you're like, we need to have that. Obviously, that should be in there. Obviously, and then we had little. I mean, you saw the movie. Like, we wanted to cover him killing iguanas, him selling
Yeah.
cars, him and his dad. So you kind of just like, all right, we have that in chunks.
The killing iguanas thing could almost be its own movie.
Yeah, no, it's insane. And we had to change it because I don't know if you heard this, like iguanas are an invasive species in Key West, evidently, according to Tom. And which is funny because he submits his own evidence as he's shooting them. I've never heard an official say this. But so he's killing all these iguanas, and we cut it together and made a little thing. And I was showing it to people. People were like appalled. They were like, "This is horrible." Like he has a plastic shopping bag and he holds one out by the tail. And so we had to recut it to have a guy saying like, oh yeah, no, they're invasive. And Tom's like, no, they're invasive and they fuck up the infrastructure of the property and they encourage you to kill them. So we had to recut it. And still people are appalled. I mean, people are still like, what is this? And he's like, this is a little baby. And he's walking around with a rifle.
That's unbelievable. I just went grocery shopping in Chinatown.
That's
no,
so
it's-
rough. Jesus Christ.
It's crazy. He calls himself the Lizard Wizard. And
Wasn't it CIA or something
it
like
was,
that?
Certified Iguana Assassins. So we had 2 names.
Nice.
And so that's in there. And but yeah, Patrick kind of would put it together and send it to me, and I'd be like, take that out, put this in. Maybe
How long
Can we
is
add
it?
this? It's 95
Oh,
minutes.
wow.
Yeah.
It's a feature.
That's great.
Yeah, and at one point I say in the movie, I'm like, this can't be any longer than 95 minutes. And then we made it exactly 95 minutes. which
That's
was
great.
fun. But it was hard because, and then when we have it stream, we're gonna have a bonus thing where you can see all this
Oh, that's cool.
footage because.
Just murdering iguanas.
Yeah, all the N-word stuff and the iguana killing. He's stomping on animals. But no, he's great, and he comes off so charming.
Yeah,
and
he really
funny,
does.
I think so. It's
Do
a great movie.
you you make a lot of like you've made a couple films now and stuff like that. Do you want to do that more than you want to do stand up, or do you kind of always want to do what you're doing now, which is going in between?
I want to do both. I like making movies; it's fun. But this part here, like promoting it, is just awful. I hate
Yeah.
it. And then my manager, they're like, "We didn't sell any tickets here." I'm like, "I don't know what to do."
Well, because now you're currently stuck promoting 3 things: your road, the movie, and your special.
Yes, and then not only that, we're doing it in theaters, which nobody goes to the theater,
Right.
so it's stupid. And then we're gonna do it streaming again.
Yeah,
So I'm like
yeah, yeah.
promoting 2 things at once, only to later promote the things, and it's like hard to figure out when to ask favors and all that.
Yeah, you
When's
have
the
to.
special coming out?
May 21st, which we're doing in movie theaters. This is like a experiment to see if anyone goes to see it.
That's fun.
But I think it'll be fun to go see a special in a theater.
yeah, I think that's
I
a great
definitely
idea.
think so too. I saw Louis' Hilarious. I think was that the one that was in the theater
yeah,
right
yeah, I
after.
think so.
And that was like I remember going and just laughing with other people and being like, "This is crazy! Like this
Yeah.
is so cool."
Yeah, so I'm the least successful comedian to ever try it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
But you're like so again, and I think you're massively successful. I look at your career
Thanks.
as like it's something I
Yeah.
aspire
Yeah,
to get
it's
to.
so funny.
But
Thank you.
but like Louis, Kevin Hart, Pryor, those guys that have done theater releases, they're obviously on a different level.
Right.
Like, what do you feel like fucked up about this at all? Is there any imposter stuff, or do you feel like I'm good? This is exactly what I should be doing.
No, I feel weird about it, and they had to convince me to do it because I wanted the documentary to be in the theater, and then this guy Richard Mattson, who's great, Mattson Films, he's the distributor, which is like it's amazing. He was like, "We should do this," and my manager was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah.
But I was like, "What are you crazy? Like X-Men doesn't sell tickets to the movie theater," and
But stand-up's so big right now. I feel like you could kind of get lightning in a bottle situation. Where it's-
maybe I hope so. Well, I'm hoping like I have a nice cult following. So I'm hoping they all go to see it, which someone wrote that to me. They're like, "You think anyone outside of your fucking fans are going to go see this?" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
I think my fans are going to go see it. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm
Yeah.
a performer. Yeah, I want my fans to see it. I don't care about.
It's also it's movie theaters. You're not trying to sell the Beacon to watch the
Yeah,
premiere.
yeah.
Like you're just selling movie theaters.
And they're like 40-seat screens. It's
Right.
not. And so the worst case scenario, nobody goes. But again, nobody goes. I go to see movies all the time, and I'm
Same.
the only one in there. Literally. It's just me. So it's a little weird. It's silly. We'll see what happens. But
No, but I actually think it's probably this is really smart because it's creating an event first of all, which like that's kind of what's missing, I think, from specials in general is like there's so many of them, of course, and I'm not one of
Yeah.
those, it's oversaturated, stop releasing them, you don't deserve it. It's just like everybody's going to put out what they're going to put out. So the idea is how do you differentiate yourself?
Right,
You're
right.
creating an event. You're creating like almost the only time you watch anything live now is if it's appointment TV like sports or
Right.
even White Lotus that came out on Sundays. But it's like you're creating an appointment for this, which I
Yeah.
actually think is cool and might work.
And I think also if it causes a little buzz, and then it gets like people to see it before it comes out.
Yeah.
So when it's time to promote, people can say it's awesome or that it sucks.
Yeah, then you have a nice groundswell kind of leading into whatever streaming service it goes
Where'd you
on.
record it?
Zanies. I did Rosemont and downtown in
nice.
Chicago.
And that wasn't the original play. You were just going to do it at Rosemont, right?
Originally, I wanted to do Rosemont, and then I thought it'd be fun to shoot both and kind of cut them together and just have it show like a small club day, the difference of kind of performances, and we cut it together. They did it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You seem super busy, and I barely can hang on, and I have way less stuff going on. How do you parent as well?
I'm dying.
You are.
No, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm stressed out. I mean, today I feel better because yesterday I was just in Boston for the weekend. Monday is Patriots Day. It was Marathon Monday, which is a big holiday in Boston. And I go every year, and then it was Easter.
You guys celebrate the Zarnaya brothers?
Who now? Oh, yeah. I was there. I'm a survivor.
You were there.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
You make chili in a pressure cooker every year.
Oh, hey, what the fuck? I'm a survivor. Are you crazy?
You're right.
That's one of my favorite Metzger jokes.
Oh, the
Are
dinosaurs?
you trying to tell me dinosaurs attacked us?
Oh, that's
I think it's from White Precious, right?
Yeah. It's so good.
He is amazing. I tell you, I saw him randomly. Sorry, I'll go back to that. But I saw him in Austin. He was talking about how they found remains of Kris Kringle, the teeth of Kris Kringle.
Yeah, he's out to lunch.
in Turkey. And he's like,
Metzger's.
first of all, I didn't know Santa was dead, which is so fucking funny. And then he goes, and Turkish Santa? He goes, I'm not too comfortable with that.
Kris Kringle.
I'm like, Turkish Santa, I'm not too comfortable with that. It's so fucking funny.
It's so funny.
He had some other lines about it that were fucking so funny. Anyways, marathon. Oh, yeah, no, I'm stressed. So we were up in Boston, and I'm trying to promote the things, and then the shows, and then the podcasts, and then, you know, I try to be very present with the baby. Like, I don't look at my phone and stuff, so I'll be with him. And then it's beautiful. But then as soon as I'm done with him,
You're
I'm
back
like,
in the
I got
hellhole.
48 texts and calls. And
That's the problem with
stressful.
doing that, right? Is like
Yes.
then when you catch up with everything, it's almost more stress than if you kind of divvied it out through the day.
Exactly. I feel this way with podcasts. The worst part of podcasting is it's like, as soon as I finish, I'm like, that was great. And it's like, and everyone's going, could you email me this? Could you text me this?
Yeah.
I wish I had more of those.
I'm stressed out, but as I try to be, you know, present with the baby and prioritize that. But it's hard because I'm like, well, these other things are for the baby too, because we have to make.
Do you have the thing that I have, which is like you're competing for space to work on your own stuff with your wife?
Yeah, but I'm so much more successful.
I think my wife would say the same thing. So
I'm like, well, you know, I gotta. No, we do. We're good at balancing it. I think we're very good. It's tough because then it makes it harder to have the three of us together.
Yeah.
'Cause
Do you
it's
guys
like, all right,
go on the
do
road
the
together?
thing. A little bit. If we go to like Seattle or LA or Houston, Austin, Boston, places where we have family or friends,
Yeah.
but not too much anymore. So that's hard. And you guys know it's like leaving for 3 days. Part of it's great because you can sleep in, you
paradise.
feel relief. But then you're also like, he cries when I leave.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's, I miss him. And you
Yeah.
try to like FaceTime, but my son's a year and a half. Like he thinks I'm behind the phone or doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like, what?
I don't know.
Minnow was FaceTiming me just when you walked in,
That's
and
sweet.
she's just kind of like, "What the fuck is going on?
Why are you with Mike again?
Yeah, it's just kind of this weird.
Do you
thing.
pay like a subconscious penance at all? Because like, this weekend I went to Toronto.
A subconscious penance. You're
Yeah.
just gonna throw that out.
I'm gonna just because I get stressed out pre-leaving. I'm stressed out leaving. I'm stressed out when I'm there. Like, and not through like any kind of anxiety about the travel or anything. Like, I'm just bummed that I'm missing all this time and I'm not around. So I like almost in a way to pay penance, not enjoy myself subconsciously because I feel like I shouldn't have fun because I'm away from my family.
Yeah, I mean, somewhat. When I relay it back to my wife, I'm like, we went to the movie. It sucked.
Yeah.
It blew.
I need to start doing that because I'll be like, I went for the best run this morning. It was amazing. I was like out in nature, and then I like worked out and found this great juice place. And the whole time she's just sitting there like, I'm paying somebody to be here in your absence.
It really crystallized the idea that my life would be much better if I was alone.
Yeah. What do you
No,
think about
it's-
us getting a divorce?
all I think about. But no, it's you try to like, and that's the other thing that I have that makes me struggle when I'm on the road is I'm like, all right, I have to do all the things.
Yeah.
So then I'm like the flight, I'm just staring at my phone. In reality, I've actually sent the emails I need to, and then I'll just scroll through Instagram as though it's somehow helping my career.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I'll read YouTube comments. That way I can know.
You can hate yourself.
Yeah.
I know the most recent problem with me.
I've stopped. I don't really do the YouTube comments. I do them on my own videos, but I can't do our pod because I'm just too afraid to see what, the like.
People really like the fact that you cannot maintain eye contact. They love it. They
They
relate
do?
to it.
I'm working on it a lot with my new therapist.
You're getting a lot of love out there, and I'd
It's
love to
my,
say, don't even read them. I'll relay it to you.
I like the
People are
horny ones.
enjoying
Those
you.
make me feel good.
The horny ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some gals out there that really enjoy Andy's entire, just coldness.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're a
Look at
handsome
you.
boy.
Thanks. I
With
appreciate
a
it.
wonderful physique.
But
He
I'm
does
just
have a wonderful
dead
physique.
behind the eyes.
Yeah, no, the personality is atrocious.
Yeah,
but your body and face.
I have the
just
charisma of a drape. That's what I have. Like a-
fantastic. Now, what do you think the eye contact thing is? Because people want to always say everyone's autistic now, and it drives me fucking nuts.
I just am uncomfortable connecting, I think, because I didn't have a lot of connection as a youth.
Yeah, I feel very similarly.
And it just feels like you recommended your therapist, who I now see.
He's the greatest.
And I really like him. But that was like one of the first things, I'm complaining about all my lack of success and stuff. And he like literally is just like, well, you don't make eye contact. It's very off-putting. And I'm like, okay, well, all right.
Yeah, no, he's like that. Okay. Did you go to Alan too?
I tried to, and he did not have an opening.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it really
I don't
hurt my
have
feelings.
I don't have like a
But that was
slot.
after he saw my tape.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
possible.
You got to
Okay.
audition.
You're a pussy.
But he
Stop it.
did just like, I was like, you want me to make eye contact like this whole time? He's like, yeah, that's what we do. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
It is what you do, though. Like, I recently, I was listening to Bill Simmons, and he was talking about his son and how, the one thing he's really, not the one thing, but what he's really proud of with his son is, they have access at these sporting events. So they meet some people, like he met Dana White, and he met all these people and these
Great.
higher ups
That's
of
great
certain
for a
leagues.
kid.
And, yeah, it's great. He just instantly gets into slap fighting. But he was saying that,
you met
his
Dana
son
White's
made eye
slaves.
contact and maintained eye contact and was very respectful. And he's like, it is one of those things that it might seem like you can throw it away, but it's really important.
I don't give a shit about the respect thing, but I do want Minnow to not take on my lack of connection, because
Yeah.
I do think that that's me doing it's like some trauma response or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
By the way, I've been saving this because I want both of you guys to hear it as parents.
Finally,
So
some
maybe you-
amends. Here we
you
go.
I'm sorry about the time I called you. So
Just called on the
No.
phone to them.
I've called Joe a couple times to just complain.
Call me anytime.
It's a 12-step thing. You're hard to get a hold of.
I'm very busy. We discussed this.
But I also, anytime that I text Joe and I don't get a response for a day, I'm like, good for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't look at his phone all that much, doesn't feel pressed to answer me. I
stopped-
take it personally, of course, but I also, on the grand scheme of things, I'm like, that's good.
I'm trying to get away from the phone too. I think
Yeah.
it's really important. It's like ruining our society. But
Oh, it's horrible.
So on Monday, I think it was Monday, I went out to LA to help Rosie because she had a bunch of meetings and podcasts. And the deal was I was going to do shows at night. She had the days.
Yeah.
And then I just didn't do shows because it felt nice to not do shows.
Yeah.
And but the baby, when Rosie leaves, gets pretty upset, right? She likes her mom
Yeah.
quite a bit. And she's kind of moping, crying. We're watching a little Miss Rachel. We're watching a little Minions. Then realizing mom's not there, starts crying again. We finally hit this sweet spot, and we're laying on the bed. Our Airbnb is like a studio, and we're watching TV. We're having a good time, and she's doing this thing called boom, which is I throw her on the pillows, and then sometimes she gets up and she does boom herself. She misjudges it, and she booms herself directly into the wall, just forehead into the wall. But it's it's drywall, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, no big deal. She didn't hit a stud. I feel for it, and but she's doing the thing where she's not breathing. She's going and I go to blow in her face. That's usually how we get her to stop doing it. And she
Is she a golden
faints.
retriever?
She
What?
faints.
This is like the worst story I've ever heard in my life.
She just-
top to bottom.
She just goes.
What?
And I'm by myself. I've also like had just way too much coffee, and I just have my limp daughter in my arms. Yeah, she like.
This is fucking horrible.
This is a nightmare.
I mean, you had that story all about you that chick in Boston. What are you talking about? Horrible story. Anyways,
That was, first of all, that was off camera and a secret. And we get along fine now.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We
but-
can bleep that. Look at the time code. But anyways, it
Wait,
was.
what did you do? Did you
I just
stop
jostled her,
faking?
minnow, you know.
Yeah.
And she kind of went, and then I immediately called like my wife, and then I called my mom and my sister-in-law, who are both mental
Child
health.
hit her head and fainted, and your first call was your wife?
Well, because I kind of didn't know what to do. I was
Yeah.
like, should I go to the ER right now? She didn't hit her head and faint, because when you hit your head and you get knocked out, you're out immediately.
Right,
She
yeah.
did. She does that. Your kid doesn't do the thing where he gets hurt and won't breathe.
He does that, like the silent cry thing. But he doesn't faint typically if you
She's
blow
never.
on him.
She's never fainted again,
Wow.
or she's never fainted before.
I would have shit
either.
my pants.
Dude, I don't know if I can handle that.
I was losing my mind. I mean, I had a
Yeah.
limp 1.5-year-old in my, and I just was like, my whole life flashed before.
I killed
my
her.
eyes. Yeah.
I killed her.
I have like a thing like once a week
Oh,
where the baby
God.
eats shit, and I go, all right, well, we have to leave society. Like that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Boy.
I'm not looking forward to I kind of forgot what that's like because at 5, almost going to be 6 in July, he's like really capable physically.
And he's tough too.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he's a little kid, so he's a pussy. He'll like,
But
bump
I mean,
into a
like
corner.
he's always trying to fight and get
Yes.
dirty and all
Yeah,
that
he's
shit.
very, very physical all the time. And he takes jujitsu, so he's like he's tumbling and he's pretty used to all that stuff. But it's like I do remember when he was like first starting, it's their whole goal in life to see if they can like shut this off. Like all they want to do is see if they can just die.
Yeah.
No, my son just put his hand and fist all the way down his throat and caused himself to throw up. We had to Google that. And it was like, oh, they're just like learning about their body and stuff.
Hand
Like,
and
he was
fist.
just like, and like barfed. I was like, Jesus. And I was like, your body's great. You don't have to worry. But yeah, he just puked. And then I was like, do we have a fucking lunatic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my
Googled
friend
and they did it.
Jimmy had a boy and then a girl. And he told me, he was like, I'm really glad that I had a boy first, because if I had my daughter first and then my son did the things he did, we would have thought he was retarded, like really
Yeah.
early. He did not develop in any kind of linear fashion.
Right.
And it was slower than the girl. Like immediately they pick things up.
I think I would be a little bit more resilient if Minnow was a boy. I think there's something about her being a little girl that makes me like twice as, because
Maybe
I'm
that's why you needed a girl.
fucking anxious as shit. Are you anxious?
Not parenting wise. No. I'm much more stressed now. I defeated anxiety and now I have stress because I'm like, oh my God, everybody needs something and I got to do something.
Yeah.
But
It's
not
coming
too
in
bad.
coming in gray right in the
Oh yeah.
right in
that's
there.
my
It looks
bad.
good though.
And then I got this too.
I got the
Nice and white.
grays, like the whole sides and back went gray.
Yeah,
I'm-
I mean, this all just kind of shot out of nowhere. Like it was kind of peppered a little bit, and then it just like
Yeah,
during
no,
the
I thought you got
pandemic.
like electrocuted or something. I thought something
I
happened.
thought you saw the It ghost.
But your hair is
I
beautiful. It's
I
spectacular.
appreciate that.
They all
That means
fly
a lot
away?
coming from that head of hair.
Oh, it's
I
beautiful.
mean, I think I maybe exacerbated it by dyeing my hair pink like 14 times during the pandemic. That
Yeah, my hair started
probably-
falling out once I bleached it.
Probably was
That's
part of
yeah,
it.
that did it pretty bad.
I was like 11 days into the pandemic with like pink hair, being like, I'm losing it, guys.
That's kind of when I did the bleaching.
yeah.
I tried to get a mohawk and Sarah did it, and it's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Like,
I remember
cut that
that.
hair into a mohawk.
yeah, but Sarah did. I thought a mohawk was just like you just do this and this, and
Yeah.
there you go. But I looked like Bert. I'll send you the photo. It was insane.
It must have looked like a bowl cut, like almost like an undercut, because it came right over.
It was like sprinkled up. I'll find. The
I could
photo.
give
I've
you a
seen that
mohawk.
photo. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, it's real bad.
I could give you a good mohawk if you're still in the market.
Well, right now, I think my son might shit his pants if I just had a mohawk.
I remember when I didn't know Joe very well, and you had me on your podcast, and I was starting to lose my hair, and I just was very casually like, "So when did you start losing your hair?" And he was like,
Joe?
"Yeah," and he was like, "I'm not losing my hair." And I was like,
I'm
"Wait,
not.
what?" And he was just like, "You know, when you do that, you don't know somebody well enough to."
There
Oh,
it
dude,
is.
you look like fucking
Yeah,
taxi
it's bad.
driver.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a real Travis Bickle thing.
Like Sideshow Bob.
No,
That's
my
awesome.
hair has always been here like this.
Not me. I got transplants.
What do you
This
mean?
is
Oh,
a-
you mean like just starting back
Yeah, no,
there?
people think
Yeah.
that. Like, I tried to do a bit about it a long time ago. My hair is always just, it's been like my hairline and eyebrows are fighting, and my forehead's like, whoa.
Not like that.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I had a
mean,
joke
look at
about.
this.
I had a
This is
joke that
thick.
was similar, which
It
was
is.
that my my hair. I'm receding hair. I can't grow facial hair. I can't grow chest hair. The only thing that grows on me is my eyebrows, and it feels like there was a workplace shooting in the hair department of my body, and somebody's just dead on the eyebrow lever. They're just like leaned over like that. That was a joke I had a long
That's
time
funny.
ago. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
In the hair sector. Of
Yeah, there's just a guy who he's dead. He got shot and his elbow's stuck on eyebrows.
How so you like living in the city as a parent?
I love it. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to move to the suburb, but then you're like, the suburbs also sucks.
Yeah.
You're far.
Yeah,
I rode a bike here.
totally.
And we do the Regs podcast, me, Louis Gomez, Bobby Kelly, and Soder. And, you know, Bobby's like, you got to move
Dunking
to
Moose.
the fucking thing. You got to...
Be careful.
I was like, you gotta move up here. It's amazing. And then it's like, he's like, it took me 3 hours to get. They forget, these people that move to the suburbs, they forget that they argue how great it is. And
Totally.
they're like, I'm fucking losing my shit. It took
Yeah.
me 4 days to get here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I literally walked here.
It also, I would never recommend anybody from the city move to a place where they know no one, where also the houses are spread apart.
Right.
And so it's like less of a communal thing. It's like you're in the city, at least you know you have friends,
Yeah.
but then on top of it, there's all these activities to do with your kid. You're in that area that has everything. I used to coach soccer in that park, and it's fucking awesome. Like that
Yeah.
whole area has so much to offer. And then you move out, and not like I'm fortunate in the sense that like I'm from the area, so I know I have some friends that are there, and also our family is there to help. And then I drive into the city and stuff, but it's still isolating. It still
Yeah.
feels like for the majority of my life, and I think that's the case with a lot of parents in general, but I'm like, I don't see anybody.
Well, it doesn't help that you guys live in a lighthouse.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that true?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was just having fun, being silly.
Oh,
I know it wasn't
didn't really-
great. Thanks, Joe.
I didn't get it. I thought maybe I missed a
I was just
thing.
being silly. No,
Oh.
it's okay.
I gave
Yeah, you live in
I
a-
gave it a generous laugh because at first I thought you meant my house looked like a lighthouse.
It
And I was
does
like,
have
kinda.
kind of a lighthouse vibe to it. It's like
There a
a
windmill?
barn.
No, but it's white. There's white parts and windows.
It's up on a hill above the river.
I guess lighthouses don't really have
It
windmills.
is.
I was when we were thinking about moving to Westchester. That was like the one thing was like we didn't know anybody up there other than Bobby
Mm-hmm.
and Noam.
Yeah.
But it's like, are we going to hang out with Bobby and Noam ever?
Right.
No.
No,
And
probably
what
not.
really did it was we commuted one day at rush hour.
Yeah.
We went to go look at a house during rush hour, and it was like, oh, we never would do this.
Yeah, no, it seems awful. But yeah, we're in Battery Park City, and it's just spectacular. There's parks everywhere, playground, and it's just kids central. There's
Yeah.
like 50,000 kids down there, and you get to know them a little bit. The scary thing, and I'm sure you guys have dealt with this, and this is what I'm worried about as being a parent, is people eventually find out you're a comedian, like, we looked you up.
So you're an asshole, huh? And you're like, what the fuck?
No, I mean, like, it doesn't take many Google searches to hear me being like, I eat my own cum.
Yeah,
Wow. Like, yeah. And like, I used to end the podcast by being like, all right, fuck a kid. Check
Yeah.
us out on the website. Like,
Yeah.
I've made a countless amount of pedophile jokes.
I got to be honest, that's actually the benefit of living in the suburbs is I thought that was going to be an issue, but they're like, you're doing the work, buddy. Just say whatever you want. Fuck the Jews.
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like, all right,
nice.
all right. One went.
You know what the
crazy.
worst is that all of my family watches. They all figured out Instagram, including the bakers. And so, like, I had a joke where I talked about like, you know, being a liberal and marrying into this conservative family, and what do? I fuck his granddaughter.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
great.
like something like that.
It's great.
And they all fucking heard it, and they all were like, "So, war criminal, huh?" And I was like, "Oh, fuck! I didn't think you guys would watch that."
Just be like, you've read the dossier.
I mean, surely they've heard that before, though.
yeah.
Well, not
maybe
we
not
have,
from inside their own family.
yeah, I guess. But we have a company that does clips for us, and then I forget because we'll do a Patreon, of course, and Patreon, you're like, this is a little spicier. We'll get a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
crazy. And then they'll clip it and post it. And I'm like, no, my mother and her mother are here. Like, I'm like, I don't like eating Sarah's pussy after a workout. And you're like, that's for like minute 38 of a Patreon. Like, if you clip it now, Aunt Darlene just watched it and is going, Jesus.
Yeah, my mother-in-law, like, she'll always be like, I heard what you guys said, and I don't want to talk about it, kind of thing. Like, she'll bring up that she saw it, but not talk about it, and it's just like, fuck.
No, my sister-in-law bought my mother a ticket to my show in Austin a couple years ago, and I had to tell, like, you can't, she can't come. Like, I'll slash the tires. This is no good.
Yeah,
because Sarah's mother's like a 75-year-old British intellectual. Like, she talks about like geopolitical matters, and I'm like, you ever fuck your wife and come on her back and then it sticks? You know, I'm like, I cannot have this woman hearing this. It's terrible. I wouldn't say shit in front of her.
I went to a general the other day, and the guy was like, you should work for the State Department.
That's what he said.
He had like a background in that, but it was funny because we were there to talk about a comedy special, and he was like, you should work in that. And I was like, oh, this is clearly
this meeting is not going well.
Yeah, this isn't great.
Because that stuff started happening to me, at least like when my son knew I was a comedian during the pandemic because he would watch me do podcasts. So like me having to say what I'm doing in the other room is a comedy podcast, it stuck in his head. So at daycare, he was telling his teachers immediately, my dad does a podcast. He's in comedy podcast. And so they looked me up, they found out, but they were all super cool about it, like right away. They're like, oh, you do, and I'm not like...
We don't like the vaxxers either.
Yeah, they probably watch Frank Rigatone and they're like, we agree with this. This is what you do. But it wasn't like, because I had the exact same fear of like, this could like shake the foundation of even just living here. Like we might have to leave.
Well, we had to have a conversation about Joe Rogan because it came up at the Wonder, which is like this indoor playground thing. And then I was like, yeah, I've been on that. Because one of the guys is like a comedy fan. He's like, what's Rogan like? And then like you see all the heads like, and I was like, he's okay, I haven't done it in a while, of course, And I gotta be like, I didn't care for that. This is crazy, I'm just like throwing I hate all those guys.
Your best friends.
Like, you don't know Ari Shaffir, do you? I wouldn't be caught dead with that fucking piece of shit.
It's so fun. Dude, I've like unknowing, or I don't know. Sometimes I find myself in the middle of an argument without realizing it. And I'm not like really arguing. I'm just not agreeing. And I've had this like, I started in my defense of Ari to like another parent. And in the middle of while I was saying it, I was like, what are you doing? Like, just let them go. Just let them believe what the fuck they want to believe. Why am I trying to sway their opinion on this guy who screamed Kobe rightfully died in front of the Staples
if someone
Center?
hates Ari, I got plenty to talk about with that person. I'm happy to connect with them. He's fucking awful, but I like him. But I also don't.
There's so many people that are only redeemable because of our shared experience. You put them in society and you're like, oh, no, that nobody should like that.
Right.
Well, what the fuck was I going to ask you about? I don't know. So what's Rogan like? No, I'm kidding.
He's cool, It's a long show.
Do you know where you're going to put the special yet? Or the movie?
The special, I don't know. We're going to try to sell it to Netflix, I guess. I don't know. I told my manager, I tried to be like, can you fucking push? Really? Tell him to take it. Like, I don't even, but I'm like, come on.
So from the outside perspective, again, looking at your career is something I truly like aspire to get to.
Thank you.
The idea that you have so much proof of concept in terms of success, numbers,
and I think that you're kind of
etc.
unanimously like a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds would say you're one of the best guys working.
Oh, thanks.
So but it's also disheartening to like think that you need somebody to fucking push when there's all of those analytics on your side outside of just being hilarious.
Well, I think they want people that, especially straight white guys, I think they need to, I know you think it's easy, whatever, but they think they want guys that are like selling arenas.
Yeah.
If I was, had an eye patch, and I hate to talk about this talking point, but I think if I was, gay, I might be able to slip in there. But and I'm not saying there, whatever. There's just a lot of us.
Of course. Well, that's
There's a
my
lot of
point
us.
too. Is I'm not saying that it's hard for straight white guys. It's a fucking saturated marketplace.
Yes.
Well, also, I'm like, for instance, like I'm not.
Yo, Andy, your hair looks like fucking Big Earn McCracken from Kingpin right now.
I don't even know what that meant. I'm not the majority white guys thing.
Mhm.
Like I don't do I'm not a bro. You
No,
know,
that's
like
our problem. Too jock for the sensitives, and too much of a homo for the jocks.
Yeah.
I know. Also, I'm a big centrist. That's no good either.
Totally. Yeah.
I'm saying retard and talking about how Trump's a retard. So they both sides hate me.
Yeah.
I know. I used to think that would confuse people into liking me, but it turns out it just really is off-putting.
Yeah,
no,
I was
everyone
like-
hates me.
I used to say that I was too gay for the stand,
Mhm.
and that I say gay so I can't work Union Hall. You know, it was like
That's
that's like that's where I fit. You know, just Williamsburg Comedy Club, not R.I.P.
But we'll see about Netflix. I don't know. I mean, I have a half hour on there, and then they talked to my manager. Like, they like guys that are selling well, doing pretty well, and
Yeah.
then they push them over the edge.
Sure.
Like, they literally described me, and then they were like, "But maybe."
Yeah.
Like,
I think,
we
but
want this, but maybe not that also.
because what they view, and this is me blanket statementing something from the outside, but it's like what they view as like pushing over the edge. They're like, we like to take somebody with like 1.2 million and get
Right.
them to 1.5 because they have no ability to launch anybody. You are the platform.
Right.
They're bringing the people that bring eyes because their platform doesn't have the trust or anything. There's so many other avenues to consume content, so they can't launch fucking anybody.
Well, did you see the clip? My favorite clip ever. I watch it all the time. It's so funny. I think it's David Cross and Mark Maron. Cross, like, self-produced, especially made it.
Mm.
And he's like, "Yeah, we reached out to Netflix, and I don't know. We were just like, hey, just put it on. Like, just throw it on there. What difference does it make?
Yeah.
Like, I made it. It's here.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like, it won't even. It doesn't. No one will even notice. Just, just fucking stick it in there. No one cares. Like, I don't understand why they're like, no, not that.
Yeah.
Like, they
Yeah, I
have
mean,
the
it's
worst
really
movies.
weird because it's, you know, like even the bigot, like I didn't watch Schultz's special, but also it didn't, like no special eclipses anything anymore.
Mhm.
It's like there's all huge names are making, you know, like Bargatze, his last special. I loved it. I
Yeah.
watched it a couple times, but it's not like where it used to be like you guys were talking about Hilarious. I remember when I saw Hilarious the first time, it was like life-changing. I had to watch it over and over and over
Yeah.
again. And I used to do this thing to try to learn how to write jokes. I would rewrite specials. I would annotate specials to see what the jokes looked like on paper.
That's crazy.
It comes from like writing like a. Don't judge me. I went to college.
It's terrible.
I mean, I find that
John
to be-
McBride did it with Baldwin, James Baldwin. He rewrote Baldwin's books to see
James
what it.
Baldwin. I'm joking.
I
Come
was right there
on.
with you. I was like, Alex
geez.
cousin?
He's an author.
Okay.
He wrote.
Well, I picked that up from context.
He wrote.
Beale Street. He wrote a couple other things.
Beelzebub?
Did he write Black Boy?
No,
Who was that?
Me.
I confused these two guys.
it's
Baldwin and who's that guy? Can we get a
can't
Google on that,
remember.
Nicole?
I can't remember who wrote Black Boy, but it's not Baldwin.
But it's something like that.
It's another black guy. Yeah.
But it's something like Baldwin. It's a name that's like, "Hua."
Yeah, Richard Wright.
I guess they're not similar, but I confuse them because they're black guys that write well. But I read that.
Yeah. Was it good?
Hmm?
Do you know what's crazy about
Black author. Read them.
Baldwin?
Pretty good.
Used to Baldwin used to do late night all the time.
Sure, of course.
Like,
Like
we
one of my
used to,
favorite
like-
Carson appearances.
Really?
He got invited to the couch right after his first book. Got him right to the couch. He inked a deal.
Oh man, I'm in the wrong business.
No, I want to hear how this author did.
No,
Carson.
Baldwin. If Beale Street could sing, I know that. Yeah.
No, it's just weird. We used to like fucking. I think I've said this before. Like Kerouac did poetry on the fucking
I know him.
Ed Sullivan show.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
did we talk about this on the podcast before? But like the thing isn't enough anymore. Like even Broadway, like the skill set to make it on Broadway is not enough to push Broadway anymore.
Yeah.
Now they have like, Dua Lipa as the lead of Les Miserables or whoever.
Right.
Like they bring in
Our brains
all
are
of these names just to sell tickets. So they're dealing with the same exact shit all of us are fucking dealing with.
See, I want to bring up a fact that I think until maybe the last 3 or 4 years, I thought it was very important that I be intelligent, and it has not served me at all. And now I'm stuck in this cycle of just knowing all this information that I thought was like great, like dinner party fodder.
And then
And
now you don't
everybody's
get invited.
like, who cares?
No, some people care. I'm intelligent. I'm an
Yeah.
intelligent guy.
Yeah.
I just had a guy tell me I'm intelligent.
Who?
I don't know. I didn't catch his name, but it was in
Smearing mustard.
No, but
on
I don't-
his
I think
face.
you're- I think you're very intelligent.
It was in Minneapolis, and he said, "Oh, I appreciate you as your intelligence." And I was like, "Can you tell Reddit? Because they think I'm fucking retarded."
No, I think that's the problem is that I don't think I'm intelligent. I can just tell you all like the world capitals and political movements, but my net worth is negative $30,000. Like I'm clearly not intelligent,
Right. Well, now you could be intelligent and broke. Kerouac.
not broke.
I read Dharma Bums. I thought he was a bum.
I'm sure he took his book advance and did heroin with it until it was gone, and then wrote another book. What do you, you know?
What about what's that painter that died? Now he's huge. Van Gogh.
Yep.
Van Gogh.
There you go. He was broke.
Cut his ear off.
Sure did.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. I'm not. There's no fucking.
No, I know exactly
Starry
what you're
Night
saying.
sitting in the attic.
There's nothing less. Here's the thing: you at least have information in trivia to fall back on. Like you can hold.
I
a
should be in a
conversation.
professional trivia.
But
yeah.
all I do is express emotion that makes people uncomfortable. So that's my intelligence.
true as
is
well.
No trivia, no facts, but I'm just like, you want to know what my dad did to me that results in why I make you uncomfortable right now?
But I bet you got some hoop facts.
Yeah, I can do that.
Jordan, 6 NBA final MVPs.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
played against plumbers.
Against what?
Against
people.
plumbers.
These fucking people. I just watched a compilation of Jordan just hitting like mid-range jumpers and threes
It's a thing
against
of
the
beauty,
Knicks,
dude.
just burying
It's
them.
unreal.
I picked up a basketball for the first time this week. in,
Really?
like,
Ever?
Years.
Oh.
And it was so fun.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Can I tell you what I'm getting back into? Holy shit. Playing catch.
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Playing catch. I think I talked about it on a previous episode, but now we're like, I just bought a glove. Like I haven't had a baseball glove for myself since I was a kid. And I was like, my kid's getting into it. I'm going to get a glove, oil it, break it in,
Oh,
do
it's
the
the
whole
best.
fucking thing. Went through the process. I was like watching The Sandlot while doing it. Like I just
wow.
queefed myself up so
Can I-
much, and it was so fucking beautiful and fun.
One of the most embarrassing things, and it was like traumatic, was that Joe would organize these park hangs during COVID.
Yeah.
And we went up there, and I've never been very good at like baseball or, sports that American men care about. And Louis comes up, who's my comedic hero.
Yeah.
And then Louis like has a mitt, and he's like, "Does anybody want to play catch?" And so I'm like, "Yeah, I'll play catch." And then I'm awful at it, so it's like I'm like letting down the dad I didn't have, and it's also my comedy hero at the same time. You could tell he was like, for a minute, he was like, "All right, well, we'll try with this kid," and then he was just like, "All right, you gotta not play catch."
But he also is not great.
He's a lot better than I was.
Well, he's old and got shoulder problems
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, I am embarrassed when I see men that can't throw.
I can play soccer very well.
Well, you know who Baldwin is? That's something.
Yeah,
Soccer's
that-
cool.
Get me? Yeah, that's good.
There is something though basic about throwing a ball, which it almost should be like, how every Israeli has to serve in the military. Like every American should learn how to throw a baseball properly.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Well, there's some people that have that. Yeah, they lead with the elbow there.
I'm not that bad. It's just my aim's off. The
Really?
power's there.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, you're obviously a very athletic man.
Yeah.
My son's in coach pitch baseball for the first time. So he did T-ball last year. Now he's in coach
Oh.
pitch, which is awesome. I mean, it's also like these games might last a day and a half. Who fucking knows?
Right.
Because, this is the first time that any of them are even playing a position. Like it was just go on the field and somebody will hit it and then you'll all tackle each
Yeah.
other trying to get it. And now they're playing positions. They're like trying to throw to first. They're batting. There's so much pressure that comes with baseball that I don't think us as kids even recognize playing. that like you're alone up at bat
Oh.
in front of all these
that
fucking
shit's
adults
crazy.
and
Oh, I
other
felt it.
kids. You felt that?
Yeah, no, because my cup and underwear were all yellow. Like I was like pissing in my pants, literally.
no,
and I
dude.
loved baseball, but it was scary. And then you get hit by the ball.
The hard
Yeah.
ball, it's
And
so
you're like,
scary.
This is
and the
terrible.
kids try to hit you with it too. I remember
Mhm.
like because I never played baseball well, but I was on a couple teams, and the kids that like had a fucking arm, they would like fucking rocket it at me because they knew I couldn't catch, and I was scared and shit.
Yeah, no, it was scary and terrible. And then you were like a pussy if you didn't want to get hit by the ball, so you had to like really stand in there, and you're like,
Yeah. When you're 8, they're like, step into the pitch.
Yeah.
Stop fucking stepping
Fucking
away. I'm like, but
terrifying.
it's hard and
It was-
traveling like a bullet.
And you're an island in the field too. Like you're out in shortstop, left field, wherever you are. You're just like, oh god, I kind of hope this doesn't get hit to
Yeah.
me.
I played beer league softball a couple summers ago, and it was one of those things where I reconnected to the game. It was so fun, but that feeling came back of the ball's in the air, it's coming to me, and I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no, the entire time. And you're just like, you're dealing with panic as you're trying to do something that's really difficult.
Yeah, and if on like a fly ball line drive, if you don't catch it, it could hit you in the face.
It
at,
did
like,
when I was
90
drunk.
miles an hour. Yeah.
I played shit-faced beer softball once, and I like went to judge it in the outfield and went like this, and it just hit me directly in the forehead, and I fell down.
I've told this story before, but I remember playing third base at a softball game, and it's like, it's softball, so it's like 60 feet away, and we were drinking Captain and Coke. I was drinking Captain and Cokes. Nobody else was, but I was.
Nobody else is drinking.
Everyone else was drinking like Bud Lights, a couple of them. But I remember on third base in the middle of an inning, and I forget who was that. Like, not that you would know his name anyways, but like a big fucking guy. And I had to call time and turn to the left fielder and be like, "We gotta switch," because I was realizing I'm like, I don't have the reflexes to be 60 feet away from
Hot
a
corner.
fucking a metal bat. And I was like, "We gotta." And I grabbed my Captain Coke and trotted out to left
Well,
field.
that's the crazy thing about
Was
those.
it in glass? It'd be so funny if you had a
Probably a
glass.
plastic cup.
Fucking
I thought it was
cocktail
probably a
glass.
solo cup. Yeah.
That is the craziest part about those beer leagues, though, is like you'll have a pitcher on the mound literally pumping a keg, pouring himself a beer, taking a drink, and then throwing a pitch and getting it hit back at him at 110.
Yeah, and you can die.
It's fucking nuts.
That's so funny to think of a guy dying and just everybody being like drunk, buzzed. It's Sunday, we're having fun. Then all of a sudden it's like, no, Steve's dead.
Yeah.
You're like, this
That's a
sucks.
really tough time when you have to actually like hop to when you're fucked up.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
help somebody in a medical situation.
We had this happen one time. My friend Alvin David. I don't know if you've ever met him. He's
I
a
know
good
that
buddy
name.
of ours. But he was like, we were playing softball in South Boston, and he ran to second. And they were those plastic bases that
Yeah.
you just drop on the ground. They're not- and he went, and it slid out from under him, and he landed like on his face.
Oh, shit.
And then he stood up and was like, I'm good. And I was in left field, and his nose just started bleeding. And I came running in. I was like, hold on, time. I'm going to take you to the hospital. And he's like, well, no, it's a nosebleed, brother. He's like a big Italian guy. It's a nosebleed. And I was like, right. You didn't hit your nose, though. was the thing. I'm like, you hit your your face has collapsed. Like the blood is escaping out of the nearest hole. And he ended up shattering his cheekbone. Like
Holy
it just
shit.
fucking broke his cheek.
Orbital.
It was
Those
the
are
night. Yeah,
a
maybe
bad
that is
one.
that.
Yeah.
There you go. Mr. Intelligence over here. Excuse me, his orbital.
That's right.
Cheekbone. No, it works.
Read that in Baldwin's book.
But I read, by the way.
I know you do. You probably read
read.
more than I do.
I read a lot.
Yeah.
I read sometimes.
I got in the audio book. I just read Phil Jackson's book,
How was that?
11 Rings. I liked it, but I like the spiritual stuff.
Is that the one that
I
he
like
talks
that
about
too.
the acid trip?
I don't know if he
There's
talked
apparently
about the
one
acid
where
trip.
one of his books, he talks about before he became the coach, he like went to Hawaii and did acid for 30 days. And then like,
He's
was-
all about that, though. He's
and then
big
like
into meditation.
at
and
the
things.
at the end of it, he understood the game of basketball. Like he like reached nirvana. With
By the way
basketball.
he understood it, did he just empower his assistant coach, Tex Winters, who developed the triangle
know
offense?
the
Yeah,
answer
Because
to
that's
that.
more or less what he did.
I don't
A lot
know
of that, and yeah, a lot of. Someone said like, yeah, Phil Jackson is the best ever at doing nothing.
No, he's one of those guys that's like a great director because of his interpersonal skills, but has no real film knowledge. And not to say he doesn't have basketball knowledge, he obviously does, but he's like, he's really good at accessing whatever it is inside of a player that can get them to do the best that they can. He figured out how to make Michael Jordan understand that you could play as a team. Right. And he didn't have to shoot fucking 35 shots a game at a low efficiency. He's like, hey, here's a guy, and we'll start passing. How about that? That's great. It's like not enough gets talked about with his influence on that stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff. He used to give players books to read and the meditation and all that stuff, and getting everybody on the same page. As
if you had to give somebody
Kobe.
a book right now, what book would you give them?
I guess it depends on the person and what they need.
Just book.
A book? I just read Atomic Habits. Have you read that book?
What's Atomic Habits?
Yeah.
I have not read it.
James Clear. It's a great book.
Yeah?
Love it.
You
Game
gave me a good
changer.
Buddhism anxiety book when I was having a tough time. I forget what it was. I think it was Eckhart
Thich Nhat
Tolle or
Hanh?
something. Yeah.
Power of Now, maybe? Thich Nhat Hanh, they just named a street after.
I think that it was Thich Nhat Hanh.
I also love Magic Mind is a great book by Lampin. I forget his name. And Magic Mind is great, and yeah.
Are you still? Do you still like? Are you as into that stuff with a kid as you were before it, or do you think you learned the tools before it and now you're just trying to employ them?
Oh, I gotta employ all the time. I'm a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
I gotta do meditation, sobriety programs, and therapy and exercise.
Does it bother you when people say you feel like? Because it bothers me when I'm like, I'm a little out of my mind. I have a hard time all the time, and then they're like, "But you seem so like you're fine." Like because that's to the outside world when you just look at you. I know your insecurities and anxiety or past anxieties that you've since defeated, but it's like,
yeah,
you move through the world in a way that doesn't look like you're in crisis.
No, I mean, I feel much better than I did. I mean, I came from such a fucking horrible place of panic attacks and anxiety and OCD and alcoholism that now I feel like amazing, but it creeps back in. But now I'm better at being like, oh, I'm angry or sad, as opposed to like, we're gonna die. Like now I'm like, oh, I'm upset with my mother or whatever, or I'm like, I'm stressed about having too many things to do. So I'm much better at that. But I also struggle with connecting emotionally. Like we were just talking about this. We went to Vecchione and Katie Hannigan's wedding, and Mike got emotional when Katie was walking up the aisle, and then afterwards everybody was like, "Oh, I cry. Oh, you cry. I cry." I was bawling, and I was like, "What? You crazy?"
Yeah.
And like, that didn't make you emotional to see Mike emotional? I was like, no, I thought he was a fucking dork. I was like, what are you talking about? But I struggle to like feel.
But it's weird because you also have this side of you that's very sincere, and I've heard you speak about things that are, like serious.
Yeah.
Well, and you have a photography account devoted to beauty.
Thank you. Well, I mean, I see beauty, but it's hard for me to connect. Like the movie, for instance, the I don't want to give away the ending, but like Dustin is saying very, very nice things, like outrageously nice things about me.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to like take it in and I'm like this, But it's like the thing where you so desperately want approval from your father or whatever. And then if he says like, I love you, you're like, stop it.
Dude, my dad said he was proud of me recently. Like, and in a really sincere, I've been waiting for this for 40 years way. And I was almost like blown away at how much I shook it off.
Right.
Where I was like, see you later, dude. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, that was literally the moment.
I have the other way around. It's my mom. My mom is the one that's like the thing I can't figure out. But my dad, he convinced me not to quit comedy, and that made me cry in my Jetta in Los Angeles.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
No, that's like country. I have it with both. My mother, like I just did the Wilbur Theater, 1,000 people, Boston, my hometown. My parents neither one of them said a single word except my mother talked about to everybody privately how I was too vulgar. And I was like vulgar, but they never said like great show. That was
my
awesome.
mom would do the same thing. Like I've had some. Your hometown is like the most important place you do, and that's where I sell the best. So I have the biggest shows in Seattle. And my mom will be like, "Can't you tell them that you just can't do the late show tonight?" That's all she'll say about the whole weekend. Like I'll be like, "I sold out the club," and she'll be like, "I just don't know how you do it." Then it's never like And then I'll be like, "Well, I think what you mean to say is congratulations, Andy. You did a good job." And she'll go, "You know that I'm proud of you. It's just you're so tired."
Well, it's amazing that people have, and I try to be conscious of this now, but like that people just don't know, like even like etiquette of what to say after a performance. I just went and saw who's my niece. I think of her as Sarah's niece, but I guess she's my niece also. But she's a brilliant, what do you call it? Whatever we talked about earlier.
Pole
Broadway
dancing.
people.
Oh, okay.
Dancer, performer.
Singer, dancer.
Yeah.
Like they did, whatever it's called. What's that
You
book?
heard that, right?
I liked it.
Pole dance.
What's the book? You probably read that bullshit. Little Women, you know that book?
You probably read that book.
That's fucking, we're girls and we're little.
I have never read it, but I know it because it's one of the most famous books.
No, I know it. Timothy Chalamet. I know the book.
Timothy Chalamet.
But anyway, she performed and she was the lead, and it like blew my mind because I thought we were going to see this college girl. Oh, it'll be fun, whatever. And she was like extraordinary.
Yeah.
I could not believe how
Dancing.
good she was. Not dancing, singing and acting. It was a musical. There was a musical version, and she was just incredible. And then at one point, she has like an umbrella that was like broken, the prop, and she just rolls with it. And then afterwards, Sarah's sister was like, "Hey, I saw the umbrella broke."
Yeah.
And I was like, "How are you not starting with unbelievable?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, how is that the first thing?" And then her mother comes over and is like, is that kid? Are you hooking up with him? And she's like, "No, what? He's gay." And she's like, "He's gay?" And I'm like, "Why aren't you saying
Did you
great
go
job?"
out and say
I
great
was
job?
I sent a long text. I was like, I don't want this to get lost with all the other like congratulations. That was like one of the best. Now it's awkward because now I'm like privately texting a 20-year-old girl like, "I liked you the best." Like, I really saw you. But it's like, that was crazy.
And you also are a performer, though, so
Yeah.
that, it's like Drake texting Millie Bobby Brown. It makes
Sure.
sense.
Sure.
He was a
Absolutely.
kid star
Same
as
exact
well.
thing.
Bobby Brown from Boston, married to Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
I didn't
From
know he was
Houston.
from Boston, from Houston.
Oh yeah, he's from
All
I think he's
about
from
the
Dorchester.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Belle Biv
So,
DeVoe,
I mean,
yeah.
that's,
Now
so
you
did
know.
that, she's not directly, that's somebody, family, through family, she's a niece. So that's
Yeah,
not somebody
Sarah's-
blood related.
Sarah's brother's kid. Yeah.
Because that stuff it makes me emotional, like seeing the passage of time, like people that I've known since they were kids and now they've grown up and they're capable of that type of thing.
Yeah.
Like my godson is an incredible soccer player right now. I didn't know if he was going to even be into sports because he was into so many other things growing up. And then, from like 9 through 12, he's just super into soccer and he's great at it. And my friend, my buddy Jimmy sent me a video of him. And I'm like, it's, poor quality from 100 yards away, but it's him like upper 90 in indoor soccer. And I'm like,
that's awesome.
I'm like welling up because I'm like, I can't believe this kid's a fucking functional human being.
Right.
And also he's taken it to like be a self-starter, be motivated, work hard at this thing that he loves. Like the idea of that stuff makes me very like emotional and romantic about it.
Yeah, I have a cousin who at my wedding was like in a blackout, literally like barfing. He was probably like 23 and like overweight, like pudgy. He was like, "I'm joining the Marine. Did they tell you I'm going to be a Marine?" And I was like, "All right, you fucking dipshit."
Great.
Okay. And then he went to Paris Island. I almost said Ellis Island. He went to Ellis Island and went to the Statue of Liberty. That's the end of the story. No,
He became an American.
he went to Paris Island, the whole thing, and he graduated. And I went, and like I walked up, and he's like in his like fucking uniform, and I was like, "Congratulations, Marine!" And I like got like emotional there.
Yeah.
That was like the last time I was emotional, I think, even though my baby was born after that.
Did you cry? You cried when your baby was born?
I think so. I got emotional because Sarah was very
Did
emotional.
you
Yeah.
C-section or she pushed?
I didn't personally, but yeah, she did. The doctor, I don't know. I thought that would be funny. It didn't make sense. Yes, we did a
Cut
C-section.
the episode.
Yeah.
Let's scrap this.
Yikes. Put that right next to the joke.
Good joke.
Jesus.
Good joke.
It wasn't even a joke. You earnestly said I a woman.
No, but you did. That's the story you told us off camera.
I did not.
You thought it was funny.
I did not a woman. No, I was blown by a woman
It's okay.
who later got by my best friend. No, there was no.
This isn't that kind of podcast.
There
We'll
was
scrap
never
this.
any.
I
I have to go. I got another
who was that
podcast to
supposed to
get
be?
to. That was Trump.
oh,
I didn't. Did you see how? I know you hate Trump. I think I might even hate Trump more than you do. I don't know where you stand. You're probably pro-Trump, but you gotta respect Trump. One thing I always will respect about Donald Trump is he was accused of sexually assaulting women, and he went, "Look at those girls. You think I assaulted?" He just went earnestly with,
I mean,
they're too ugly to,
I
and stood by it.
I like everything about Trump if you take him out of the
Political spectrum.
and
Sure.
and the the human experience that there are victims of him.
Sure,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
You know, whenever anybody says that, though, of like, look at these girls, it always makes me believe that they them more.
Right.
Because I'm like, that means that you wouldn't tolerate them saying no.
Right, that's a
Like
good point.
the idea that somebody that below you would say no is like, well, clearly that's not what you said.
It's just so funny to be like, they're ugly. What?
Are you kidding me?
I would only an attractive woman.
That's our president.
No, he's great. I like him.
You
No,
do
he's
like
very
term.
charming.
Third term, 2026.
I believe it.
Yeah.
It's coming. You do have to go though. You have a. You have
I got a
another thing.
1:30 thing.
Yeah.
How long have we
been
go for
going?
an hour, right?
Okay.
Let's promote the movie dates, and then any release dates that you have for.
We've
for
been going
the
for an
streaming.
hour, right? I'm not bailing.
yeah.
I'm not like
No, 100%.
I mean, I'm having
I
a
can't believe you're
blast.
bailing
Believe
on
me.
us. Jesus
I would
Christ.
much rather be doing this.
No,
podcast.
it's okay, Joe.
I'm
I
not-
blew it again.
I'm not excited.
This is
for
just
this
like
one.
catch with Louie. I threw the ball way over there.
No, you're way better at this.
That was good. I like that.
Yeah, well, that was genuine.
Thanks.
It's an excellent podcast.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for doing it.
Thanks for doing it. Yeah, thanks
Of
for coming
course,
up
I've been
here.
dying to do it. Well, not dying to, but
Dying.
I've been wanting
Thanks
to
for
do
being
it.
kind. I
So you'd
appreciate
stop
that.
reaching out. But what were we going to say? Oh, the movie,
Yeah.
TomDustinDoc.com. It's playing all over the country, not as many places. People keep, I love some of these people, they're so wonderful, but they act like I've just decided to not show the movie
Mm-hmm.
in San Diego.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Bring it to San Diego. I'm like, we're trying.
Yeah.
Like, we're not like, oh, no. We're doing 6 cities only.
well,
We have not
it's going to
heard
go to a
back.
streamer, though, right?
Eventually, it'll be on Punch Up for like $5, $6, something like that.
Oh, that's great.
So it will be seen by everybody probably in the summer. But
You're
we
not
had
gonna put
to
it on
do, like,
Amazon?
3 months. Maybe.
I mean, you just put stuff on Amazon.
But Punch Up, we'll get the money directly.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck Danny. No, I'm kidding.
I love Danny. What are you
I love
kidding?
Danny.
I saw him at the Comedy Cellar holiday party, and it was right after my edible show, and I was perfectly fine. He's just like, "What are you on right now? How much?" And I was like, 250 milligrams. He's like, "So you're like all fucked up, man. You're totally fucked up." And I was like, I don't know. I feel like I'm having an okay conversation with you right
cheers.
now. And he's like, "You're just fucked up." And I was like, "All right, I'll see you later."
Well, he's got some Salacuse to him. He's a little wacky. But Danny, you remember, you're an old, you know what, dude fan.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
on the show. He's the only person up until Bobby now, but had ever walked off because he worked
Was
for
he the Facebook guy?
Yeah, he's the Facebook
No
guy.
shit.
Yes.
That just fucking blew my
Yes,
dick off.
that's him.
Holy shit.
I don't
Yeah.
know this.
He was. He
I
worked
know a
for
lot
Facebook.
of YKWD
He was
lore.
like a high up.
No,
at
I knew
Facebook.
that. He owns a house in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Well, he worked at Facebook, and then he's friends with Steve Byrne, and then he likes, you know what, dude? And this is like 10 years ago, or however many years ago. And then Steve was like, "I'll get you in there. You can go on the show." And so he like put on a headset to like, he thought he was just going to watch the show. Bobby put him on the show. And of course, we're all like, "Would you eat a kid's cum for $10? Would you fuck your mother or blow your dad?" And he like had an actual panic attack. Like he's like freaking out, and he just like slowly took off his thing. He's like, "I gotta leave. Like I'm gonna get," because we also, I'm sure Lewis was there and was like, "Fuck Facebook. They're all Nazis. A piece of shit." Like whatever it was.
Well, he said he wouldn't say what company he worked for, but it was obvious. And then Lewis kept saying Facebook.
Yeah, that sounds right.
He's
It
just
was
watching his stock options just evaporate through some NDA.
It was bad, and then he resurfaced like 10 years ago because Steve was at the cellar with him, and it was like, "This is the guy."
That's awesome.
He's
And
great.
I love
he's
that.
Unbelievably.
Punch Up is a
helpful.
fantastic site, though. Go there. All of us are on it. There's a ton of comedians. If you want to see us on the road, if you want to see Joe's movie, it's cool. It has a bunch of uncensored content for comics. I'm sure you're familiar with it, but just getting it out there.
And
as
the
well.
movie's called Tom Dustin, Portrait of a Comedian. May 9th, it's in a bunch of theaters. It's doing a run at a bunch of theaters all over the country. Houston, I know, and Cambridge, Massachusetts, Atlanta.
Hell yeah.
But it's all at tomdustindoc.com.
.com. Yeah.
Great.
Oh yeah. And the Spash.
Special May 21st. That's going to be in theaters one night only. Theaters across the country. That's in way more theaters, but only one night.
I'm going
It's
to
called
see it.
Small Ball.
I'm going to go to the
Please,
theater.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
No
I'll watch it
commitment.
when it streams.
All right. And yeah, that's it. So please come see me. Support. Maybe.
Everybody go watch Joe List and do everything. You're one of my favorite comics. I say that
Oh, thanks,
completely
truly.
sincerely. I've listened to your stuff way too much.
Joe was one of the first dudes that was nice to me when I was seating people at Broadway Comedy Club. I remember him, Owen Bonus, and Dan Hershon.
Oh, yeah.
And those were the three that I kind of like. And Joe Larson. I would latch onto you four and just kind of watch you.
Oh, shout
all the
out Joe
time from the
Larson,
side.
my old Seattle buddy.
Yeah.
Same initials.
Joe's great. I did some gig with him recently. So
He's
funny.
a good guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. Hershon was the best. Hershon, I quit working at, I was thinking,
Yeah,
Comedy Club, I had to quit because the guy yelled at Hershon, and then Hershon didn't quit, which I thought was one of the funniest things. He was like a door guy. We were chatting, and the door guy was like, "Get your ass up there. You're supposed to be up there. What the fuck? How did your father raise you?" And I had spots, and I was like, "I'm leaving. I'm out." And I was like, "Come on, Dan." And Dan's like, "I need this gig." And I was like, "Wait, I'm leaving because he disrespected you, and you're staying."
Instead, Dan and I did a Monday night weekly show at the hostel Luigi stayed in.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
remember doing that. Yeah.
Nice.
As soon as that
Awesome.
story broke, people were like, yeah, that was like Randy Epley's
That was a
show.
spot. Yeah. Ruben
love
Mehta
Randy
gave it to
Epley's
us.
show.
R.I.P.
Wow.
The bomb.
Yeah.
I will be at Bottle Rocket Comedy in Baltimore May 17th, and I will be at the Vale Comedy Festival with Joe's wife. Hope things don't get too
Whoa.
hot.
Oh, fuck her and film it.
May 22nd through
I thought you were going to say maybe.
25th. Also maybe. And then, go to punchup.live.com / Andy Haynes. And anyways, you know,
Beautiful.
Google me.
In May 3rd, I'm in Poughkeepsie at Laugh It Up Comedy Club. May 15th, I'm in Denver at Comedy Works South. 16th and the 17th, Chandler, Arizona, Mic Drop Mania. I got Boston coming up. Point Pleasant, New Jersey, Avenel, New Jersey, just to round out New Jersey for the year. And then several more, MikeCannonComedy.com for all that. Nicole?
Cold open.
Nicole Lyons Productions on Instagram, and follow the pod at Beautiful Boys Pod on Instagram, YouTube,
And YouTube.
everywhere else.
Do all that stuff.
Love ya.
Bye.